Welcome to this week's episode of the Osasu Show. As usual, it promised to be a very interesting episode. Nigeria is a country of estimated 250 million people with a youth population of about 68 million. Do you think Nigerian youths are ready to change the narrative in the political space in Nigeria? This episode would help you really take a decision if they are or not. I'll be back after this timeout.
North to South Africa, East to West Africa, DSTV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOSTV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Osasu Show. My name is Dr. Banjo. We'll be talking about youth inclusiveness and preparation for 2023 elections on the Osasu Show today. And it promised to be a very engaging conversation. I have with me Chibueze Ona, KFC. He's from Enugu State. He participated in the last election, governorship election, in Enugu State in 2019. He didn't win the election, but he's got a lot to say about why he did not win. And that's the reason why we brought him on the show today, to just come and throw more light on youth participation, preparation, inclusiveness in our electoral process in Nigeria. Welcome to the Osasu Show.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
All right. Just like I gave in the intro, I'm beginning to worry about the political atmosphere in Nigeria. How would you describe it, since you've been in the center of activities when it comes to politics in Nigeria? How would you describe the political atmosphere in Nigeria?
Okay, I would say that the current political atmosphere in Nigeria is best described as confused. Yes, I say confused because we would always think about election when we are a few months and just a year thereabout to the election. So it is something they do on purpose. It's something they do to take people unawares. So when you see people, they know the process of going through the recruitment process of getting people into elective office. It's a very rigorous process. And they do this on purpose. They don't want people they want to shortchange people. So what you find now, this one saying, I'm running, the other one saying, I'm running, and this other person who is not willing to step down, this other person is saying, I must go to the polls. And you see propagandas, you hear all sorts. And it is nothing, nobody comes to the table with ideas. Nobody is coming to tell you, okay, let me educate the masses. Let me tell the masses what governance and government would look like. So everybody is coming to tell you, like, we'll vote for the party. And I think we have gone beyond party politics in this country because it has not worked for anybody. It never worked for us. You know, we need to critique the individuals. We need to look at them and we need to say, okay, what do you have to offer beyond party? Because if you say party and look at the political economy currently, almost all of them have been in different parties at different times. So that's why I would say you don't look at the party per se. Yes, the party is good enough because when you talk about the structure, you talk about the spread, yes, you need those parties, you need those platforms to win elections. But generally speaking, the political economy now is very confused because you don't even know what to do. You don't even know what to say. Why are we suffering now? We are suffering now because you find people who feel, okay, if I say this, it's going to affect my party. If I start this process, I may not be able to finish it. And they would say, this party started this and that. So if in Nigeria, after the first 2 years, literally governance stops.
Okay. Now, we have had 16 years of government with the PDP, and now we are running another 8 years. And I'm getting worried that in 24 years, we haven't really seen a matured or something that looks more like an atmosphere, politically speaking, that is changing things and making things work better for Nigeria. And I'm beginning to wonder what's going on. Is it that our electoral process does not put the right people in place? Or when they get into power, something just happened and they lose sight of everything and anything they've told Nigerians they will do when they get into power?
First of all, if before I get to your question, it is said that by 2030, the greatest the greatest prospects, obviously, that Nigeria will have, it's not going to be oil. It will be our youth. So if you look at how things are going now, my brother, it is people don't go into election. People don't prepare for election. People, all they want is to win the election. Nobody prepares for governance. So when you find people who you think they are, that's why they do is a do or die thing. They get offended when you ask them, what do you want to do? And these days, when I was running for election, I told them, ask me the hows. We have never run shortage of telling Nigerians the problems and how. I tell them how you're going to fix it. That you'll build 20 bridges and all that. So because they have understood, everybody is cashing in on the low level of awareness of the Nigerian electorate. So everybody, all is about vote my party, vote me, and things will be fine. Nobody is asking the critical question. Because look at a classical example. Look at the last local election in Abuja. It was a total mirage. And people, nobody came out. Because people were not even aware.
But candidates were declared as winners.
Exactly.
Even though in some places we have 2 votes, 3 votes, 6 votes.
That's the problem that we hope the new electoral bill that is awaiting assent will solve. Because part of what the bill says is electronic transmission of results. Before now, because of what has happened over time, people vote, stand on the queue, and after hours under the hot sun to vote, and they will still be voting, and the result will be announced. So now there is no incentive to vote. So most times, if you go and tell people to vote for you, they will tell you, can you protect the vote? If you cannot, there's no point wasting our time. And that's what you find. And that's when some people, they will tell you, you can't wrestle the power of the incumbent powers that be. So even when they love you, even when they love your antecedents, they will love what your manifesto says, but they wouldn't want to waste their vote. So they would rather sit at home and then tell them, write the results.
Okay.
So it's so unfortunate that
So Nigerians actually get the leaders. I mean, we deserve the leaders we get. Yes. On the long run.
Yeah, on the long run. You may not actually say we deserve, because in the end, most people still make sacrifices. Most people still want to do the right thing. But the unfortunate thing is they get no support from nowhere, because it has to be you and you alone. And that's why sometimes people mistake the electoral process to mean bringing themselves as just the sole brand. And it's like, I've done this, I've been in this industry, I've done this, this is how I'm going to do it. But the truth is, you know what the constitution says about the spread. You are not going to win the election just by either your local government or just in your state. So you need to get the spread. So people need to begin to get aware. Before now, churches used to tell their members, politics is a dirty game. Don't go into politics. Stay away from politics. They will all go to hellfire and all that and all that. But now we're beginning to see that these people will make the policy that we will make sure that even your church, you don't even have the church again.
Operate.
Exactly. So people are beginning to understand that we need to get into politics. We need to get involved, actively involved. We need to understand the way the processes work. We need to be part of a political party. We need to defend our mandate. So unfortunately, when it comes to the Nigerian situation, we love copying from all over the world. You know, we copy and we find it very difficult to domesticate it, because we hear that America, they are running a system of government, and all we say, okay, this is where America is now, and we forget how many years American democracy
them to get there.
Exactly. So all we want to do, we copy it there and we bring it here. And when we bring it here, then we are in trouble.
Okay, let's talk about the youth movement in Nigeria. In recent past, we have had a lot of youth participation, inclusiveness in trying to change the narrative and create an atmosphere of relevance for youth in Nigeria. However, the EndSARS was classical. It was something that even the government of today never expected. How ready do you think the youths in Nigeria are when it comes to participating actively, getting involved in the process, determined to change the narrative, making sure that we get what we truly deserve in Nigeria? Do you think the youths in Nigeria are ready?
Yes, I will say that the youths in Nigeria are ready, but they don't have the required platform. Because, and the old guards cash in on that, and they continue to downplay the importance and the powers of the youth. When
you say platform, what exactly do you mean?
Yes, when I say platform, I mean that they don't have the needed, they are not allowed by the old guards to form themselves into, if you like, political parties, if you like, youth advocacy groups, you know, that will represent, that will begin to push and advocate for youth involvement in politics. Because fundamentally, the youth population in Nigeria is estimated around 68 million. And by that figure is twice the size of Ghana as a country. By that figure is bigger than the population of South Africa, bigger than the population of the United Kingdom. And if you try to bring it to put it in perspective, that if youth population in Nigeria were to be a country, they will be the 4th largest country in Africa and the 19th in the world. So this is the population we are toiling with. This is the people who, if they realize their powers today, all these things we see in governance will stop. But the unfortunate thing is they continue downplaying them. They continue making the youth believe that your role is only supportive. And that's why even in our constitution, we did not say anything about the 30% inclusion of the youth. But when I say youth, I don't mean youth as you could refer probably to gender, that it must be. Then we are talking about competent youths. We have more than enough competent youths. Because
but I'm sorry to interject, but I'm beginning to get worried if, in terms of participation, preparation, inclusiveness, and changing the narrative, that the Nigerian youths are ready. They are the ones caught up in Yahoo business. They are the ones that are involved heavily in money rituals. They are the ones that are that constitute the greatest number of nuisance. When you see armed robbers, when you see kidnappers, and all of that. So what category of Nigerian youths do you think we are referring to here that are ready to change governance in Nigeria?
Yes, the category I would, if I understand what you mean by that category, you see, the Nigerian youth that are ready, an average Nigerian youth is very much ready, but the shame and the unfortunate thing is that we grew up with the mindset from the old guards that politics is for the elderly, you know, and they intentionally, because of that, they intentionally hiked the process, the financial implication of running for any government elective office. And with that now, you see that, correlate that with our unemployment rate. So I think about 37% thereabout. Yeah. So the problem is, with such percentage and with the mindset that you need money to get involved in politics, there's no point. Because it is easier to go and become a political thug. It is easier to go and do those kind of errand boy kind of thing than standing up for yourself. And I'll tell you, before now, if you remember, Audube was then, he was minister then at 35. You know, the former then oil minister was 29 when he was oil minister. You know, if you watch most of those guys, they've proven that if you give the youth a chance, they will perform very well. But the thing is, the youth we are referring to here is the youth. We are all interested in politics. We have gone into politics. And while I was running, I saw like minds, people who want to do, when we push for the not too young to wrong, you know, it was a groundbreaking bill and we are all happy about it. They dropped down the age barriers. We felt like we are in there. But we didn't know that these guys are still waiting for us at the other side. They refused to drop. How many political parties in Nigeria has dropped the expression of interest form for the youth or the buying of the form? So you still don't have the money.
But can you do politics in Nigeria without money?
Unfortunately, you cannot.
Tell me a little bit about how your election in Enugu State went.
Okay. You know, when I was running, I ran for governorship in Enugu State in the 2019 general election, you know, under SMP. At that point, I realized that our problem in this country is not just about leadership. It's as well as followership. You know, I went campaigning, I went to the grassroots,
and you were spending money.
Exactly, and it was...
And the youths were collecting money from you.
Even people from my own village, they will have to collect money before they do anything for you. You know, and at some point we had one rally, and when I went out to ease myself, on my way coming back, I overheard people discussing, is it just three bottles that we drink? And he's busy speaking English here? Is that how these things, so much you can tell him how these things are done? And I told them, listen, I never had any political office. I never embezzled like all these big guys people are talking about. This is our own. And the good part was I had an extensive blueprint. You know, we had every sector, we had a blueprint on how to develop every sector. And when we speak with, in fact, the shocking thing was, it was even the old guards, you know, who when we went campaigning, who were understanding more. They were like, wow, you people have done all this already. Because we don't just say, oh, we're going to do this. We'll tell you how we do it. We'll tell you how we intend to get the funding. We'll tell you how everything plays out. We had a very comprehensive blueprint on how to run the state. But the unfortunate thing was, the youths in Enugu, it was so bad that I, at that point, told them that the biggest industry was psychophancy. You know, it was very bad. In Enugu State, everybody wanted to be part of the government of the day. Even when at some point, what we're hearing, do you know I have the number of the governor? And when has that become an asset? That you have the number of the governor. Has that changed your life? Has that put food on your table? With due respect to the governor and every other person. The thing is, the electorate should have your number. They elected you. You should be accessible to them. So it shouldn't be a privilege when a governor puts a call across to one of his own. But in Enugu, we saw the youths who were not ready for a youth who is well informed, who is ready to serve, to come into power.
So Enugu youth will be a subset of a replica of a typical Nigerian youth everywhere across the states in Nigeria.
Yes, you are very correct. You know, in that sense, you find out because when you meet someone and the person probably is looking at, I'm older than this guy, he's too ambitious. Why does he want to do this thing? Because, you know, they've been made to understand that this thing flows from age, you know, that you don't have. So the person you're talking to is not even willing, because the person like probably, can this person give orders and I'll take it? You know, I saw those things because you would call for a meeting and somebody will stand up and address you in a manner capable of making you get angry. But because the thing, I'll tell them, listen, we cannot make these people understand that, the old guards understand that we can't respect each other. We took the campaign, we turned the campaign into teaching and into awareness creation. Let them understand the implication of what they were doing. I told them that I mustn't be governor, because at that point, my campaign team, they were telling, oh, all your blueprints are all over the place, you go about it. I said, the truth is, we are running to win, but I mustn't be governor. It's not like if it's not me, it's a highway. Whoever that emerges to be governor should use these blueprints that are tested. We went through a scientific process to make sure that these things, okay, this is how we arrived to say, do this and this will be fine.
Okay. How would you describe today the preparation of Nigerian youths as we approach another big election in 2023?
Nigerian youths, as we approach 2023, they are very sincere with you. They are not ready. They are already trying to look for who is ready to spend money. It's so unfortunate. We're on the ground. They are all queuing behind who will bring out money. Who are we going to work for? Nobody has.
So it's still going to be same old in 2023?
No, definitely, because it is still going to be the old same thing. And that's why, how many youths understand that because funny enough, I met one guy and I was telling him, trying to educate him on electronic transmissions as a very veritable tools that will help our democracy and elections. And strange enough, he wasn't happy. When he started telling me, if they start doing this thing now, who these people will pay? That was how he said it. Because I then understood that he is by default a good thug that does those kind of things. Stuff.
Snatch ballot boxes.
So to him,
ballot boxes.
So to him, if these things happen, then they are out of job. And that brings us to the issue of unemployment. Because if these guys were doing something, and that's why these politicians make sure they keep these guys impoverished.
Doing nothing.
Yes, yeah. Because if you have money, I don't have money because I have something doing. You can't ask me to come and become, you can't even say it, come and become a thug for you. You can't even say it, no matter what. Because you can't do, it's not worth saying, and you refer that to me.
Wait, now, let me quickly come into this. You left the United Kingdom and relocated back to Nigeria. Most Nigerian youths are doing everything to run out of the country. What was your motivation? What were you thinking about?
To be very honest with you, I wasn't thinking about anything specific apart from Nigeria. The love for country. Because I had a good paying job, and when I came home, I think roughly 1 year thereabout, I had nothing. It was just my savings I was spending. So I stayed. At some point, I told myself, the motivation was, I said, all the people I had modeled that I want to be like them, they had at some point lived and studied abroad, but they're all in this country. So if it were to be juicy like that, they wouldn't come back. So I didn't see the end, but I put faith in between. I said, I'm coming home. And also I came home, I got involved, I made myself available for the change. I tried to prove to them that I'm not making myself available for a personal gain. It is because I've seen where it works. And I know we can do this. Because how can we? In the last administration where we were like, Enugu State, for example, was the 4th or 5th in IGR, But where are we now? So everybody is about coming to Abuja and, getting the
crumbs.
And that is it. Nobody is thinking about being creative.
Okay. All right. And now, TPO's honor, KFC. Bottom line, Nigerian youths are not ready.
Yes. Nigerian youths, you can't, with what I have seen and what is going on, they are not ready. And why I said that is, if we say Nigerian youths are ready, what are their plans? Who are they queuing up behind? What criteria have they brought out to say that you must meet these things so that we know that if we give you our support, you will in return give us good governance. So we can hold you accountable. Awesome. So because we don't have any of such, so I would say we are not ready, because if you need to be ready, we must have a framework that will say, okay, are you agreeing to this and that?
Okay.
So because we don't have that, then it will be very difficult to say we are ready.
All right. Thank you so very much. For want of time, this is how far we can go on the Osasu Show. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Nigerians.
Follow us on our social media at Osasu Igbinedion, at The Osasu Show, and at DSTV Network on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll be back next week, same place, and God bless you.